Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. So, people should make sure that they subscribe to the podcast.
Oh yeah. How's that going?
I mean, it's going. It's kind of entertaining. I amazingly, it's on Stitcher now as well. I don't remember
On what?
I said that. Stitcher.
What is
another
that?
podcast application.
Oh.
It's just a podcast application.
So is it like iTunes?
Yeah. So iTunes is not like the go-to for podcasts, I guess, anymore. For most people. Somebody even asked if I could get it up onto Stitcher, and I'll be honest. In my naivety, I assumed once you put a podcast on to iTunes that it kind of proliferated to all the podcasting websites. I thought they just kind of like took the iTunes feed, but I guess that's not how it works.
Really?
You have to specifically go to enable your feed on those different applications. So Stitcher is one that I went to and applied and put the podcast onto, so you can just access it from.
So I have a question.
Stitcher as well.
Is there a single episode on the podcast as well?
A single episode
where I wasn't present?
Well, there's not yet.
Okay, but will there be?
Is
that part of the podcast?
Actually, it's not. My plan is not to have that one on. I just uploaded all the ones and scheduled them out to go out every day, because I'm trying to get caught up, and then I keep getting behind and like putting the podcast up there. So then I'll schedule what I can schedule up through the next week or whatever.
Yeah.
So we've never caught up to live yet.
Okay.
How
close are we?
7. I think on the as of now it stands, before these episodes that we recorded tonight, on the 2nd will be the last one to go out, which is the one right before the solo one, because I didn't plan on putting the solo one out there.
Okay.
Because for one, the solo one is completely based on watching YouTube.
Right.
It's me talking about like what I'm seeing on the screen in like Chunk City and stuff. Like nobody on the podcast is going to have any understanding what's going on with that. So there's no intent for that. No.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
But I think it'd be funny. I actually told my Google Assistant, I was like, okay, Google, play Guano podcast, and it started playing it through Stitcher in my car. And so I listened to our last episode just because.
Huh.
And it was funny. It actually made me laugh, and I knew what we were going to say. It was the one about us talking about my first date with Julia at the gay bar, and
that's a good
people
episode.
walking in having sex. So it was a pretty damn funny episode.
Yeah, that was one of the better ones.
But we want to get it out there and make it the most popular podcast ever, right?
Most
popularest podcast ever.
I was surprised the ad rates that we got back in the day whenever we did the Mindcrack podcast. Like the Audible thing, like that was $1,000 an episode.
You know how many people were watching it from a podcast? Because the podcast was also on YouTube and stuff.
Right, that's true. It was.
So
I don't know. I mean, that was the stats that she used to sell the ads. It was an ad agency.
Oh, they were
using those, and they were using it wasn't the YouTube stats did not matter. It was whatever the podcast. And you know what? I just said 1,000 episode. It wasn't. It was 1,000 a month. But that's still. We did on average 4 episodes a month, so $250 an episode. That's pretty good for our viewership. Which I don't think was that high.
Yeah, and you're saying they used the podcast statistics, not the YouTube statistics.
Correct.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know what the average like view count or device count or however the hell that they do those.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like what our numbers were like. I don't even have like an inkling of an idea.
Yeah, those things. A lot of those things are so. I mean, not being in I'm in the business. I mean, YouTube, but we're held at the mercy of YouTube and what they tell you that they're going to do.
Right.
But what is somebody who does a podcast that becomes quote unquote successful? What is the definition of successful podcasts to an advertising company or whatnot? Is it 1,000 people listen to this, or is it 1 million people listen to this? Like,
I'm imagining like one of the like the Joe Rogan podcast. I bet he makes a lot of money on ads.
I mean, but define a lot.
Probably tens of thousands, like for a 2-minute segment, I would imagine.
For a 2-minute segment, tens of thousands?
I would imagine. I mean, like the like I said, the
I guess anybody popular can make that much money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not just saying just him. I'm in a bed, by the way. But yeah, I mean, you got to think like the Audible ad we were doing. That's 5 minutes basically. So, I mean, and that's just us, like $1,000 for at tops 20 minutes over a month. So someone like him, you give 10 minutes over a month. It's got to be.
I mean, let's get some advertisers for our Guano podcast, man.
I mean, sure. I would love. You know what's sad about looking back at the Audible ad we used to do is I didn't use Audible at the time, and so like each week Chad would be like, "All right, guys, try to come up with a book and then make sure it's on Audible and all this," and we're like, "Okay, Chad." And half the time Chad would be the one that basically did it because he was the only one that used Audible on a regular basis. But now, boy, I could talk about some Audible because I use it so regularly. I don't know. It's just a shame that I wasn't an avid user back then whenever I was doing ads for them.
So just in case Audible listens to listens to us, hey, Audible, I go, we'll take you over here.
I wonder if Chad still has contact with the ad agency that we used back then. Because I'd happily do another Audible ad.
They'll look at our podcast statistics and be like, how about you pay us to be able to have Audible on here? We're not exactly what you call big time, I don't believe. I think it's, couple devices an episode, up to like 25 or 30.
Yeah, it's not very high.
I wouldn't think it's very high, but you never know. Maybe that's how all good podcasts start.
I kind of wish we had kept up with it, but there just wasn't the interest within the group to maintain it, really. I think that was
did the numbers ever start to drop, or did they stay pretty significant?
I don't actually know. I feel like our numbers went down, but we got so inconsistent at the end that, that's going to affect your numbers too. Got to the point where, we wouldn't record an episode for a while. And it also got to the point where the bigger guys in the group had lost interest to the point where it was, the people that bring the higher viewership just weren't a part of the podcast anymore. So
yeah, that does kind of stop. That's almost like, as awesome as it was to do, UHC again recently, when you are looking at half the comments is where's blah 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 and where's blah blah blah, and you're like, well, just don't ask those questions. Just pay attention to the people who are playing right now. Right. Like, why are you asking me where this person is? Because that's not going to help you find that person.
They're not here, obviously. And I mean, it's kind of, I saw a few of those, and it surprised me because for the most part, we had the biggest turnout for UHC we've had in a very long time. Granted, it's been 2 years since we had a UHC, but back when we were still doing them a few times a year, we didn't have the same kind of turnout we had this time. Almost everyone made it. Like, that didn't happen the last few times we had done it. So I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe we can get another one of those going too. That'd be fun.
UAZ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be game. I think we should do more of the the hell was I even gonna say? Like, we always have a slime. Good God, man, leave me alone, dude. We always want to give it like some type of quote unquote gimmick.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a gimmick last time, right?
It was just we're back. Basically, that was the gimmick.
Yeah, it was just we're back thing. And I would love to have some type of like gimmick that changes fundamentally the way that you might do some stuff, but not like it doesn't change everything about it. Like, I've still always been a fan of implementing, Seth Wing's idea of that death swap into UHC, and every so often it randomly teleports teams to where a location of a different team was at.
God, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, but it makes you have to protect your stuff more because you don't want to leave like cooking gold, but you just get swapped out and you just left gold in front of somebody else.
Well, I mean, do you get a warning before the swap happens? Because otherwise, when you could
program it however you wanted to. It could be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in a random swap, or it could even be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, no swap this round or whatever it is.
Right.
And, you could do it in a bunch of different ways.
Beef had an idea for a gimmick this last season, and I wish we could have done it. But his idea
was it?
To use the same version we used for the very first UHC.
See, the only thing we've done throwback UHC versions before.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, not that it's a bad idea because it could be fun for sure, but we've done that before. We've thrown it back to an older version to do it.
I couldn't find the mod. Like I don't have any backups of the mod that made it work back then. Because you needed the client side mod and the server side mod to make it work, and I couldn't find either. And all the threads from when Jack Beardmore originally made the mod no longer was the links available, and I didn't want to just tweet out like anyone got this because it would kind of give things away, so I didn't do that.
Right.
But yes, I couldn't find the mod, so it just couldn't be done.
I'm trying to think of what other crazy gimmicks you could come up with in it, like even potentially a gimmick where there's a way to, if you lose a team member, there's a way to resurrect them. Like
I've thought about that before.
By doing something crazy.
Yeah. I like that idea. I've never been able to think of a good way to make it work, but yeah.
That's what I'm trying to think. I'm like, what do you do? Go to the end and fight the dragon? No, because nobody's gonna risk that for to get their one team member back. They're gonna just go fight the other team, you know. Or what was the one you wanted to do a long time ago? PUBG style one. Didn't you even have a mod?
Yes, that was made. We've tested it and it works and it's made. And I was gonna suggest that again to everyone because someone brought it up in my Discord after we did this last season. They're like, why didn't you guys use that? And I don't know. I mean, we haven't played with the current mechanics of like the phantoms. I
think the first one in 2 years being back to a kind of a quote unquote classic without going back to a classic version, you know, but just a traditional UHC is great. But I would love to if we do another one, to do a gimmick. And I do remember when you talked about that PUBG one, it sounded like an awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely different because you didn't have the whole everyone go to 0-0 and go to Fortress or whatever, because you don't know where the final border is basically. So that was cool. I do think we should make an effort to do that. God, I thought of another one as I was saying these words and just.
How about you get your original map of season 1? See all the chests and you just play in it.
You know what I would like is to do another Mumble season. Have we done more than one Mumble season?
Yes, we've done more than one, but I think it was only like 2.
Okay. Yeah, I would like
everything blends because we did that. You know, the whole Survivor thing was Mumble, but yeah, we did. Pretty confident we did 2 Mumble seasons.
Yeah, I would like to do another Mumble season because that was fun. Have we done Teams Mumble? We did, didn't we? Yeah, we totally did.
Yeah, we did Teams. Oh, well, I think one of the Mumble seasons that we did, you started out solo, and you connected with the first person that you saw became your teammates as long as they weren't teamed.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Because that's how I ended up being in partners with Vex one season, and I was like freaking out because I think if I recall, he made it sound like he was about to kill me, and then he was like, "I'm just kidding, I'm by myself. We're not a team."
Wow, that's a risky move. You could have attacked him first.
I was like running scared. I don't even think I saw him. I think he saw me, and I was like running scared. Then I heard him because I got close, and I was like,
the problem with the Mumble is that it works cross dimension. Do you remember that? Like if you're in the Nether and someone's in the overworld and you have similar coordinates, you can hear each other.
Yes, I do recall. I guess no, I can't say that. I was gonna say the one way you could fix that is have a custom thing that when you go into the Nether, it automatically is, 10,000 blocks away in the Nether or something like that. But
yeah,
then that kind of takes away the whole portal sharing aspect. Like, how would that work? And some of the scariness of going into a portal that you might come out of somebody else's portal.
We should do like a no Nether season, maybe. I don't know.
Oh wow, I was the only team that went to the Nether last season. What would that matter?
I mean, for the most part, yeah, most people don't go. The people that do go always go. It seems like too.
It's more fun. More fun to.
Well, people were totally up in arms about that poison potion, though. They wanted that banned forever.
Why? It was.
Did you not see all the comments about that?
I mean, I saw the comments saying, "God, I'm good with the poison," but I didn't get them good. My mind missed. I think.
I think Never's hit.
Never's hit.
Yeah, and it hit Beef. Honestly, probably if it hit someone like, someone less viewers, there wouldn't be as many people.
Then it would have been okay.
Yeah, it'd been fine.
Beef had thrown it.
Yeah. Oh no, God! If Beef had thrown it, it would have been the greatest throw in the history. Totally great. Totally fine. Very legal and very cool.
Yeah, that is where it gets tricky when you're doing that stuff, and that's kind of.
Yeah, Beef's the new
kind of interesting
of the UHCs, basically. Because back in the day, like do you remember Paws quitting because he didn't want to play because of all the hate from the Etho fans?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he stopped playing UHCs with us because for like 3 seasons in a row he killed Etho, and like people would just flood his videos with dislikes, and
that's right.
Not even his UHC videos, other videos, he's just getting tons of dislikes and stuff.
And it's so funny to me, and I'm older and more mature than a lot of the people who watch. I'm saying this, it sounds terrible, but it's younger kids who, for the most part, are follow Minecraft videos and stuff. They haven't yet, necessarily learned and grown into themselves yet. But I think, like, watching Survivor, I don't get mad at people when they vote somebody I like out.
Yeah.
I find it's sad I can't watch that person
occasions
anymore, but I love the strategy and the concept.
Yeah. There's definitely been occasions where I've hated someone on the show, like really disliked them.
But it's because they're a piece of shit. You didn't hate somebody only because they were against the person that you like.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. Man, that guy. What was that? What was that sleazy guy who said his grandmother was dead so he could go on one of the eating challenges? This has been
Johnny Fairplay.
Yeah, Johnny Fairplay. God,
I think that was a fucking brilliant move, man.
I mean, I wasn't even that move didn't bother me, but overall, I just never liked that guy.
There was some people in the early seasons, and granted, there's not as many of them anymore. Still happen every so often, but I remember what was the one dude's name. This is probably one of the talking either low 10s probably was season numbers, and he was just this dude from New York, thought he was the best dude ever, and he was probably like in his like 40s, some like bigger construction worker type guy. He had a beard, and I remember once he even wrote the person's name on the piece of parchment because he just hated this person. But he stopped even writing the full name and just wrote her first letter, which was a C. But there was multiple people's names that started with a C. And I remember Jeff Probst even pulling this thing out of the urn and looking at it and just showing it and like looking straight at him because he knew. And he was like, "Come on, you need to tell me who this is actually for." Like, and this, which you've never seen it.
I don't remember this.
Oh, this was God. I'm gonna have to look it up in a minute. But he was just such a dick because he thought he was so much better than everybody. And of course, those dicks are the ones that make it near the end. He didn't win, but he made it. Of course, near the end, and he got voted out, and he was like almost like threatening to kill everybody. Like, it was
what?
He didn't really threaten to kill everybody, but it was.
God, I don't remember this guy at all.
You know what?
The other day I was talking about older seasons of Survivor, and I was trying to explain to someone in my Discord was like, should I even watch the show or whatever? And I started talking about how the show has changed from like this visceral environmental thing where the world's out to kill you and you stay up at night so the lions don't eat you. And I started talking about Mike burning his face off, and someone looked up Mike, and he's been arrested for child pornography.
Oh, great. And he was from Michigan, too. I'm looking through. There's literally a website called the 25 Most Annoying Survivor Contestants. Actually, most of these people I don't find annoying. I don't know why they're on here.
Is Boston Rob on there?
No.
He's well liked. I never liked
Sean Kenneth. I don't know who this guy is. From Survivor Borneo. Ozzy.
Ozzy's on there?
Yeah. John Penner's on here. A lot of people don't like Penner though.
I thought Ozzy was well liked by all.
Judd. Is it this guy, Judd Sargent? For bipolar drunk, Judd wasn't half bad. Actually, we were kidding. He was the worst. Between his excessive use of man and damn, his alcohol-fueled rants, the tribal council. Remember his whole scumbag rant. Judges easily the anger issues. I think this is him. Judd Sargent.
I don't. I remember that name sounds familiar, but I don't remember him.
I'm going to look up Survivor. Parchment letter C. I don't know if that's going to bring anything up.
That seems so vague.
Survivor Parchment. Oh God!
Sorry, that was. I was trying to kill a little slime, and I hit you too.
Like, oh God! I'm not watching the YouTube. I'm watching the private. Contestant only wrote single letter. I don't know what to like. How do you know what to look for this?
Oh, so the other day Seth put out a video showing a mob spawning system that he had made. And what he did is he made multiple platforms, but then every platform had a water channel on it that he could open at the back with like pistons, and it would push all the mobs off. And I feel like we're dumb to not have done that in our thing instead of just making platforms expect them to walk off on their own. Like, it's this thing that forces them off. And I feel like with all the stuff that we've gathered from doing this, we should make a new mob system.
We could probably do that.
I mean, let's finish this project first, but after we finish this, that could be our next project to have a better mob system.
Dude, I'm not sure if this is the guy or not. His picture looks so... It sounds like him, though. He looks like him in some of these pictures during Tribal Council. I'm pretty sure that it's him. I'm going to have to find... Calls everybody scumbags, fueled rants, alcohol-fueled rants all the time. Like, I can completely see
Where does he get all this alcohol? I don't remember there being that much alcohol.
He did go on a couple of... I remember he... wins. Reward challenge wins where he got, like, wasted. Was puking everywhere, so pretty sure this is...
I feel like on Survivor, since you're getting less... food and stuff, I feel like it would take like 2 beers and you're done, sort of thing.
I completely agree with you. Though I will say lately as in like the past 10 seasons. Oh, and you haven't started watching the new one yet, have you? I'm so curious what some of your thoughts are on this whole...
I mean, I've watched the last one that's fully aired, but I haven't started watching... I'm waiting until it finishes being aired, basically.
But I feel, and granted, we're not at the point where it should be at good ones yet with this new one, but this new episode or new season. But I feel the rewards have gotten really shitty and less. Like, I feel that the rewards before were so good. Sometimes they were like, "We're gonna take you guys on a helicopter ride out of here. You're 2 days at this luxury like resort and get all this food, choose one person to go with you and all this stuff." I feel that there's so much less of that, which makes it people less upset about not getting picked for some of the rewards and less tribe pulling apart. Because that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Is that it made you really get mad at people who didn't bring you along, and it opened up a lot more holes. And now it's like, you are gonna have lunch on the beach, with
you get a
steak and beers, and you choose somebody to go with you, where everybody else just has to watch you for an hour. You're like, that's not as
right. I agree with that. I also feel like they've done more of the, all right, choose one person, all right, choose another person, all right, choose another person. Like, how many people are you getting to take? It feels like they take more people now than they used to.
Which sometimes is fine. I mean, it
does cause more animosity sometimes, because now you've gotten, like, that by the time you're doing the third pick, the guy who thought for sure you were going to pick him first still hasn't been picked, and they're like,
right.
Okay, now what? But,
yeah, I feel the rewards are... less, and I know some people might think like they used to have a car all the time. That's like a reward for a contestant. That's really all it is.
I miss the car.
I don't. Whatever. You can do without it.
I just like the whole lore of no one's ever won the game after winning the car, and it was always like Final Four or whatever when the car came out.
Yeah, and then man, Yao Man. Do you remember Yao?
I do remember Yao. God, he cried about some of his decisions.
Well, he gave away his car to Dreams, and Dreams backstabbed him.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, he won the car, and he told Dreams, literally says, "I know you need a car. I will give you this car on one condition, and it's if you win the Final Four challenge, you give the immunity to me." And Jeff was even like, this is not sanctioned by, Survivor. We cannot hold accountable. Like, he doesn't have to follow through on this. And he's like, no, I know. I'm making a man-to-man deal with him, basically. And Dreams accepted it. And then Dreams came, and like 3 or whatever episodes later, Dreams is still there, and Dreams is in the Final Four challenge. And he's like, you know what? I want to prove to Yao Man that I did this for him, and I'm a man of my word. It's like the only challenge Dreams ever wins. And at the end, he goes, you know what? Never mind. I think $1 million is more important. Sorry. And they voted Yao Man out.
Wow. I forgot about that.
And then Dreams got 0 votes in the final 3,
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yao was one of the nicest contestants that's ever been on that show, I swear.
Has he come back?
He's been on it twice.
Okay. Because there's Yao Man and there's the other more recent, really, really, really scrawny guy from the gay guy who liked the chickens, and he would tie the. Well, I can't remember what his name was. I would love to see both those guys back again. They were awesome to watch just play the game.
I feel like the very nerdy guy's got to come back from this last or 2 seasons.
He was like one of the favorites of the season. They said,
yeah, he's got to be. That was the guy you thought was a plant, right?
Yes.
He is. He does have a weird personality, like a non-standard personality.
Well, it's so weird because he claimed to be such this nerdy guy who doesn't talk to people. Yet he goes out on Survivor, and granted, he's a weird, nerdy personality, very smart person. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on in his mind and everything you can tell, but a very personable individual with a very personable personality. Like, nobody ever looked at that guy and was like, what an asshole. Like, they all, like, he's a nice guy. And so that's part of the reason I still believe in the planted.
I don't think that's a thing. No, I'll never believe. Never.
Until you become that plant. Jeff Rope's going to call you up and be like, hey, guess what? We'll let you on. However, you're the plant. You're going out in episode 4.
God, that'd ruin everything. That'd be so sad. Did you ever watch the Joe Schmo show?
Joe Schmo. I've used the term a lot.
It was a reality show?
No.
It only did 3 seasons. The first season was by far the best. The other seasons were nowhere near as good. But the premise was it was like the Truman Show, but a reality show. So they had... It was in the theme of Big Brother. They're in a house, they're doing challenges, and they vote someone off each time, and all this sort of thing. But everyone's an actor except for one guy, and he doesn't know that he's basically the Truman of the Truman Show. Like, they're all putting on a show for this guy, basically, and he's gonna win the whole contest in the end.
That's entertaining.
It was good. It was really good.
It's kind of like, that's almost a better concept than Joe Millionaire.
What was Joe Millionaire?
Joe Millionaire was a play on like The Bachelor, but they made it seem like the guy who was the Bachelor who was trying to win the people, he was presented as basically a millionaire who's never been able to find true love. But really he was some broke schmuck.
Really? And so all the women thought he was this millionaire?
All the women thought he was a millionaire, yeah. And
so in the end, do they tell the women and then see if they want to stay with him?
Well, in the end, it was something like, if I recall, because I didn't watch the series. I just liked the concept, but I followed what happened at the end. If I recall correctly, the person who he chose, because then at the end, it comes down to somebody that you choose and you hope that they, want to stay with you or whatever.
Yeah.
And he chose this one girl and then she was given a choice. Like it like revealed that he really didn't have any money. Was this really true love? You can take this like $1 million check and walk out the door, or you can stay with your, this guy if he's really your true love. And she takes the money and walks out.
Oh, well, yeah, every time, 1,000% every time.
If I recall, I don't remember how much money it is.
I mean, hell, unless there's someone in some contract, she could take the money and get the guy afterwards, right?
I mean, I guess it'd be interesting to make a contract. Like the contract would literally have to be you cannot see each other again, otherwise you
owe $1 million back, basically, or something.
Yeah, because how would you make it so you could say you can't get married, but then you can still just do everything but just not be married,
right?
But do you say you can never be in a relationship? Like, what constitutes a relationship?
Right.
Like when I started dating my wife, who said on the outside that we're dating? Like, except for us, right?
Right.
Like, who constitutes what's dating?
Yeah. I don't think that.
I mean, you and I could be dating according to people because we get together at least twice a week,
right? Yeah, no, I can't imagine that show ever ending in any other way other than the woman taking the money and walking away.
I would agree with you, but that concept is also kind of like it's. I don't know what to say. It's mean. It's lie. But lying's fine. Like I don't know. I'm trying to figure out which one. The one where if you were a contestant, like let's say you're a contestant on Survivor and you win the game and you find out afterwards. As like the reveal of surprise, everybody was actually a plant and you didn't really win. Like this was planned from the beginning. Like you tried hard. You made all these quote unquote social bonds with people that were all completely fake because you were always intended to win.
Yeah, that would suck. But you know what? That $1 million would I could wipe my tears away with that.
And by the way, you don't get the $1 million.
Oh wait, well then I mean that ain't cool. That would suck. I feel like that'd be like you sue for that type of shit. I'll see you in court.
I've said this before though, but just knowing that we both read that article, pending it's true about the fact that those people who broke the rules and then got voted out one by one,
yeah,
tells you there's manipulation at play, and it's just how deep does the rabbit hole go?
I don't know. I don't want.
Russia involved, and nobody knows.
Oh God! All right, with that, everybody, we're done here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
Bye.